Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Sorry for late. I was in another session. Okay, so let's get started. We are discussing about conditionals. Okay, we are discussing conditionals. I think we have discussed one. I, we have practiced one example at least. Okay, yes, we have discussed one example. I'll show you one more example. I'll just teach two more example and we'll finish it. Okay. So because we will use conditions in all upcoming examples. Okay, I mean chapters. I'll just make some changes in this this YAML file. What I'll do is I'll use variable. Okay, I just want to show you an example with variable. Wait for a moment. Not well. Okay. Okay, I'll show you next example. I'll just say condition 2 dot YAML. I just want to copy same contents of previous example here. So I'll just go to column mode and say R condition 1.yml. 1 second. Maybe spelling mistake. Condition, right? Here spelling is correct. I don't know. Anyway. I'll make little changes here. Okay, I want to use, I'll just declare a variable. I'll just say like OS, sorry, just to say where's, and variable name is OS. I'll keep multiple values in it. Okay, first value is, I'll just say Red Hat. Okay, second value is uh, Mint. Third is, okay, that's all. Only two values. And what I'll do is, I'm just going to use my condition in different way. We can use some prepositions in condition. Example like Ansible distribution. Last time we have used Ansible distribution is equal to CentOS. You know what is Ansible distribution? We have discussed well in facts gathering. Okay. Now I'm going to use the condition in different way. What I'll do is I'll just say Ansible distribution in OS. Here, what is OS? OS is actually, so in preposition always we use with variable name. So here we have a variable name is OS. Okay, variable. There are so many examples like okay, Ansible distribution is, Ansible distribution in, like this. So many examples we can do. Okay, Ansible distribution in OS. So within you have used OS, right? So then immediately condition will search for the variable with this name. Yes, there is a variable name is OS which contain two values. So I've told you normally we store one value in a variable, but when you are using variable with condition and loop, you can store multiple values in it, because in that case, okay, in case of loop and condition, variables are just used for loop and condition only. So that's the reason you can store multiple values. Here, multiple values store. So there are two values. Okay, list of values. So one is Red Hat, another is Mint. Okay, so what will happen is first your machine will gather. First control node will gather the basic details of the sales department machine. After gathering basic details of the sales department machine, your control node will have values in Ansible underscore distribution fact variable. So fact variable will have the facts variable will have the value. In case of say in our case, what sales department, we have two machines. Two machines in there are two machines in sales department, server A, server B. So after gathering, okay, so in Ansible distribution, you will have the distribution name of server A, server B. We know what both computers, both managed host contain, uh, you know, uh, uh, center operating system. So value would be CentOS. So in this case, what this condition will not match, right? Condition will not match because in OS, variable, we have two values. First value is Red Hat, that is one distribution name. Another value is Mint, that is another distribution name. So it will, okay, doesn't match because, okay, in case of server A, server B, what will be the value of Ansible distribution? CentOS, so it doesn't match. So this particular task will skip, will not be executed. Ansible control node will skip this particular task. Let's try to execute it. I'm just showing one difference, that's all. I'll just try to execute it. Ansible -playbook, and I'll just say like condition 2 dot YAML. Skipping, didn't execute on server A, server B. Reason, okay, reason is very clear. What I'll do is I'll just make little changes here. I'll just add one more operating system this list variable. I'm adding CentOS. I've told you the case sensitive Red Hat. How normally we write Red Hat? R capital, H capital, Mint M capital, CentOS C capital, OS capital. Understanding that you can understand once you start to use those operating system. Okay, it is these are case sensitive names, machine names, file names, directory names, everything's are case sensitive. Now what I'll do is I'll just try to execute it again. See, installing Nginx on both machine because condition is true, condition is met. Let me check what is error. Cannot download. It's repository error. No worries. Repository error. LSBLK. Yes, repository error only. I'll just mount /dev /sr0 2/ment. Okay. Now if you execute it again. Okay, so here server A successfully executed, server B, this is repository error. So if you try again, it will happen. Server A run idempotent, server B, okay, running, installation will happen. I'll show you next example. Okay, next example is like, I just wanna show you how do we use multiple conditions. So that's possible. So we use multiple there is multiple condition in Python everywhere, right? Multiple conditions. So we can use multiple condition with the help of logical operators. You can use and or, like condition 1 and condition 2. What's the meaning? If both conditions are true, execute the task. Okay, condition 1 or condition 2. What's the meaning? If any of this condition is true, execute the task. That is common, same thing. No difference in, okay, Ansible. Let's do one interesting example. I just want to install MariaDB. Okay, MariaDB server. MariaDB server is a open source DB application. Means it is GPL license application, general public license means free of cost, absolutely free, MariaDB server. But I have two demands. First demand is it should get installed on root partition. It should get installed on root partition. Should be installed on root partition. This is first demand. Imagine there are so many partitions available in your production server. Okay, there are so many partitions available in a production server. So we want to install this application on a specific partition, that is root partition. Second is MariaDB need minimum 300 MB of workspace, means space for running in hard disk. Understanding minimum 300 MB of free space must be available in root partition. So first condition is partition must be root. Second condition, there should be at least 300 MB of free space to install it. 300 MB of free space. These are the two conditions. If both conditions are true or met, install MariaDB or skip. Else skip. Okay, very easy. Very easy. Let's try. And before doing this, I just want to show you. I'll just gather the facts of server A or okay, we will do on one machine because installing MariaDB on two machines will take time. Okay, I'll just say Ansible server A or BNE -m and setup, and I'll just say -a filter is equal to, and I'll just give the filter name. I'll just say like Ansible mount. This is the facts variable. Okay, facts variable. I mean, this is a fact. Okay, facts list variable. List. This is a fact list. Okay, facts list variable which contain details of the mount point. Details of mount point means which partition mounted to which mount point. Okay, total size, free. I mean, how much available, and all details will be available in this. Let me just gather this particular facts. I'm just gathering server A only. That's list variable. What's up? Ansible mounts. Okay, mounts. Ansible mounts. Okay, scroll up. It's a really big list. Look here, Ansible mounts. Ansible mounts. Okay, dot how to refer this variable? Ansible mounts dot mount will return this value. Clear? So what's my first demand? It should be root partition. Root partition means mount point is slash. So it's better you just say, instead of saying root partition, how partitions are getting represented in operating system with mount point only, right? So you must say Ansible underscore mounts dot mount should be slash. That is the first demand. And Ansible mounts dot size available should be greater than 300. Okay, size available must be greater than 300. If both conditions are met, install MariaDB. Okay, this is simple example. Also, I'll try to use loop here. Okay, I'll try to use the loop also. Otherwise, we'll forget loop, right? So let's try to write as small play which contain multiple condition and loop. If you want, you can use variable also. Anyway, now this is enough. Let's try. I'll just say vim condition 3.yml installing MariaDB server. Okay, and I'll just say like host. See, I think in last class, Anu asked a question like, is there any way to read the user, I mean, custom host group or custom host name on command, and pass to the variable and execute the play based on that particular host list, or we can say like host pattern. We have another way, that is like you can just give -i option. I'll show you that. You might be knowing it. I'll show you that. Please wait. Server A. Okay, I'll just give the application name. Application name is Maria hyphen Maria. Sorry, Maria DB hyphen server, right? Maria DB hyphen server. It's available in our operating system. ISO, and operating system ISO is already inserted, means attached to the virtual CD drive of your machine, and we have created, and mounted to /mntn. We have uh, configured local repository well, so we can, okay, do it. I'll say latest or present, anything is enough. Next, what I'll do is I'll use loop. Loop is not required, I'm just using, just okay, because otherwise I should show you again an example with loop and condition, right? So let's finish here. I'll just loop. What I'll do is I'll just refer a variable. Variable name is ansible underscore mounts. No use of this, because with this loop you cannot save any time. Okay, I'm just showing an example. Ansible mounts. What is Ansible mounts? Ansible mounts is Ansible fact variable. Ansible facts variable. And next I'll just say when condition. Condition is, I'll just say item dot mount. Item dot mount is equal to, and just a single or double quote, root, means mount point root. And okay, you can try with or also later. Okay, I'll show you only one example. And I'll just say item dot size underscore available, right? Underscore available, size underscore available. Okay, should be item dot size underscore available. Okay, greater than. So here, one problem is the amount, I mean the value you are giving is in number of bytes. Okay, so I'll give, if you want 300 MB, you have to give 3 crore changes, but I'll just give rounded value, that is, I'll give 3 crores. 1 2 3 4 5 6, enough. Look here, let me just explain. It's very easy to okay understand. Here really no use of loop is not required. I'm not using loop in this. I have to show you one more example again, so leave it. So if no loop, imagine there is no loop, then you will have to mention the name like this: ansible mounts, ansible underscore mounts dot mount is equal to ansible underscore mounts dot size underscore available greater than. So here what will happen, how does it work, you see? Okay, when you're executing, first it will come to the task and will not execute the task until this condition met. So it will check whether condition is true or not. So in condition, what you have used item. So item will always hit to the, okay, value or variable, value or available, sorry, value or variable available in loop. In loop, what variable is the facts variable? Okay, loop is understanding. Item will hit to the loop. Loop is returning what? Ansible underscore mounts. Finally, your condition will read like this: what? Ansible underscore mounts dot mount is equal to, okay, and next item again. Item will hit to the loop. Loop will return this variable. So really no use of with this loop you cannot save anything here. But I'm just showing an example to understand. So item will return, item will hit to the loop. Loop will return this variable. Variable is ansible underscore mounts. So finally, condition will read how ansible underscore mounts dot size underscore available greater than 300. Okay, 300 MB. If the conditions are met, okay, because this is and, logical operator is and. If both conditions are met true, then okay, Ansible engine will execute this particular task. So please try to understand, if you're not using loop here, you'll have to specify the, okay, variable name like this: Ansible underscore mounts dot mount, Ansible underscore mounts dot size available. And sorry, size underscore available. So okay, if you are okay with facts variable, you can understand easily. So okay, try to, I've told you, facts always used, facts variables are always used with condition. So no need to learn all facts variable. Try to learn at least, try to understand at least 5 or 6 enough. Remaining If you need any variable, you can just gather the facts and check it. Understanding? Suppose, okay, one example I've told you in last class. I just want to do kernel patching. So before kernel patching, you must know an existing version of the kernel. So okay, you just want to do kernel patching on 10,000 machine. So can you approach every machine individually, physically, and okay, check the kernel and not it? Impossible. But you please try to understand kernel details are part of the gathered fact. So you can use what that particular variable. Then you are saying, Ashraf, I don't know what facts variable is representing the version of the kernel. No worries. I've told you. Okay, if you don't know, you will have to search in Google. That's only the way. Or you have to check with an experienced person. Understanding? If you ask me, I can tell you maximum 5 or 6 Ansible facts variable which I have already used. Okay, I don't know really all, but I can just search and find it. Understanding? Search and find. So instead, okay, I search and find. You can search and find. I'll just try to execute. Before that, you just go to server A, check rpm-q mariadb hyphen server application is installed. No, mariadb server is not installed. Okay, I'll just say ansible hyphen playbook. Okay, and condition 3.yaml. Listen. The MariaDB installation. MariaDB is actually a type of group software. Understanding? So we are using yum module, so yum can do that. So finished, installation finished. There are some, okay, like related to your Ansible facts variable only. The descriptions, okay, skipping showing, but it didn't skip. Check installation happened, installed successfully. Understanding? So I'll show you one more last example in condition. In that we will try to use register variable because we have never used register variable. I just want to introduce register variable in this because we will use register variable in upcoming, I mean, many times again in upcoming examples. So I should at least introduce here. Okay, register variable. And before that, okay, I just want to tell you something called return code. There is something called return code. Ansible return code. So if return code is 0, that means okay, proposed. I mean, like task successfully executed. Okay, on a machine. That's the meaning of return code 0. Okay, or suppose you just demand you just ask Ansible engine to check whether a particular service status in a machine. Imagine you have so many servers and you just want to check, you are writing a task, I mean you are writing a play to check the status of a particular service. So if service is running, return code will be 0. If service is not running, return code will be other than 0. Other than 0 always shows okay negative. That means okay, Ansible cannot continue with next task. If Ansible can continue with the next task, it will return code should be always 0. Understand? So you will understand. Please wait. Let me show you one example. So here we will use this register variable. Okay, this example I'll just show you some register variable example. I just want to check the status of. I just want to install AutoFS. Moment. I just want to install AutoFS application on server A, but I have a demand. Demand is if NFS server service is running. I want to install AutoFS on server A if NFS server service is running. Else, no need to install. Understanding? So this is a bit interesting. Let me check here. Okay, check first rpm-q AutoFS is installed. No AutoFS. And systemctl. I'll just say like is active, right? Is active NFS server. No, it's not active. It's inactive. But application is already available. It's default, right? NFS is default. RPM-Q. Okay. NFS-utils. NFS-utils. Application is already installed. It is default in every Linux distributions. But please try to understand the service is not running. That means, okay, it is in inactive. So what is my condition? Okay, my condition is install AutoFS if NFS service is running. Let's try this. Okay, so first what we have to do, first task is checking the status of NFS application, NFS server service. Second task is for installing AutoFS, but condition is what? Okay, install if NFS server service is running. Clear? I'll just say condition 4.yml. First task is to check the status of the NFS. Okay, so okay, which module can be used? We can use command module. So this is the first time I think we are using command module. Okay, and sorry. Here I can specify in same line I can specify the command. Okay, understanding. In same line I can specify the command. Understand, because it's a command module. So just to say like /bin/system ctl command. Remember, right? I've explained shell module, command module. System ctl is hyphen active and service name nfs hyphen server. Dot service is not required. So what this will do is it will check the status of the particular, I mean, it will check the status of this particular service, whether service is active or inactive. Understanding? So this command, I mean, this particular command will have, output, right? This command will have an output. This command will have an output. I just want to store output variable, output to a variable, instant variable or register variable. I'll just say register. Okay, and I'll just say result, or you can give any variable name, your name also you can give. But here register is actually the key which used to declare register variable. So what will happen is, since I've used this register variable in this task, output of this task will be always stored in this particular register variable. So task of this, what is the task of this particular what is the function of this particular task? Okay, just to check the status of this particular service. Okay, that will have an output will be stored in result variable. Clear? Result variable. So if you want, you can use like ignore task. I'll show you later. Let me just complete it first. Okay, second is name. Okay, what we want, installing AutoFS. Okay, there is a chance for a bit confusion, but I'll explain well. Listen well first. I'll just use em module for installation, and name of the application is AutoFS. AutoFS. Name of the application is AutoFS, and state I'll just say present or latest. Present or latest. Okay, so that's all. And here I have a condition. What's the condition? Condition is when. Result. What is result? It's our register variable. Dot RC return code is equal to 0. Okay, there's a chance for confusion. No worries. I'll explain. 1 minute. Okay, listen well, please. Okay, here what will happen? First, this task will be executed, and this task will have output. After executing, there will be an output. Output will be stored in this register variable. Register variables are temporary variable and like instant variable. So if you want to store something a result of a task while executing it, it's better you can go for the register variable. So register variables are temporary variable stored temporarily. And also you please try to understand you have stored some, you have declared a register variable in this play, and this register variable result, right, variable can be used wherever, across this particular play. Understanding, you can use this, you can refer this register variable across this play, not another play, this play. Okay, here what will happen is command module will check the status of this particular. We know what's the status, inactive, right? Inactive. So when it is inactive, what will happen is that means this particular task is failed. Understanding, that is what return code. If return code is other than 0, see actually return code will be 0 if task is successfully executed, and if the task result is positive. So when we say task result is positive in case of first task, if the service is running, we'll say it is positive. It is positive. So in this case, what task result will be really negative. Negative means return code also will be other than 0. Understanding, if return code is other than 0, what Ansible engine will consider is this particular task is failed. So what will happen? You know the normal behavior of Ansible, right? What's normal behavior of Ansible? If a task failed in a play, remaining all tasks will be, complete play will be aborted. Understanding, complete play will be aborted. That is a normal behavior or character of Ansible, Ansible application, Ansible automation. Understanding. So here what will happen? This will be if return code is other than 0. Why return code is other than 0? This particular service is running. We will test it. We will test. I'm not going to directly execute it. We are going to do testing. Please wait. So then next task will not be executed. Let me just execute this first. We are going to test it. Test. I'll just say Ansible -playbook. Condition for .yaml. Enter. Failed. Reason is very clear, right? Return code is other than 0. What is the return code here? 3. Return code. You try to understand. Don't try to learn all return code. No use actually. Just try to understand 0 is what? 0 says positive. Other than 0 is negative. Understanding. So return code is 3. So what happened? First task failed. So it's the normal behavior of Ansible. If any task any task fails, from that task and below task will not be executed, means complete play will be aborted. It's a normal behavior. So what I'll do is I'm just going to make little changes in this play. I'll just add here an extra key, that is ignore errors. I'll just say ignore errors. Ignore errors. So this ignore errors Okay, ignore errors will ignore the error of this particular flag. So if you add ignore errors, even if this task fails, remaining task will be executed. Understanding? So this is called ignoring task failure. Ignoring task failure. This is a task, right? Ignoring task failure. So what will happen? This task will be really return code will be other than 0. That means failed. Okay, task is really not failing. Task is executing successfully, right? But what's the return code? Return code is other than 0. That's the reason. Okay, Ansible engine is calculating because our demand is very clear, right? What's the demand? Okay, what's the demand? Demand is install auto fs if this particular service is running. So service is not running. Then you may tell Ashraf, condition is used, right? Condition is in second task. But what I'm saying is if if this particular service is not running, what it will always return other than 0. So here I've just added ignore errors. So ignore errors will help you to overcome what task failure. Even if this task fails, second task will be executed. But try to understand second task. Second task, what is the condition? If result.rc, I'll tell you what is this. I am just going to show you practically. Please wait. Result.rc equal to 0, then only this task should be executed. Okay, if the service is not running, return code will be always other than 0, right? So what will happen? This condition will not be true. This task will not be executed. This will skip. Let's try. Look, first task failed, but second task will be executed because see, the second task executed means what? Okay, it is not a task didn't run because condition is not met. But last time we got different, right? Understanding. Now what I'll do is, okay, I'm just going to start this service. Okay, before that, I just want to make little changes in my script. I'm just going to add one more task here just to print the result of just to print the result of you know what this I mean just to print the content of the result variable on screen. Okay, I'll just say printing, sorry. Okay, which module can be used? Debug, right? Debug module is used to print the content of variable on screen. Also you can use to display, I mean like print a message on screen. We have discussed. So I just want to print the content of a variable, so I'll use var argument and just to say the variable name. What's the variable name? Result. So what will happen is it will print the debug module will print the content of result variable on screen. What is the content of result variable? Output of the first task. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just go to server A and I'll start the service systemctl. I'll just start and enable hyphen now. Okay, NFS. Started, right? Check the status now. Is active? Yes, active. Now it is active. Okay, I'll just save this PUQ and try to execute it again. Look here. Server A checking the status of NFS is true. Return code is 0 because we have started the service, right? Return code is 0. Result is a list variable. So this is what the contents. This is actually the output of the first task, which is stored in instant variable result. So what's the variable name? Result. How do we refer these values? Result dot msg, result dot rc, result dot start, result dot ster, standard error, standard out, standard lines. Understanding? So what I'm saying is, so result is actually instant register variable which contain output of the first task. So this is the result of the first task. So in this you can refer each and every list variable with the help of your main variable result. How? Result.rc. That is what we have used here. That is what we have used here. Result.rc is equal to 0. If, I mean, like when result.rc is equal to 0, that means, okay, this particular service is running, right? When service is running, 0. If service is not running, okay, now this ignore task, sorry, ignore errors is not required, right? This line is not required because, okay, service is running. So understand. So this is how I think you got it. If no, you can ask me. I'll try to explain it again. Clear, right? This is last example in our, condition. But upcoming practices, we will include conditions related, tasks. Okay, no worries. But I've just introduced with the help of four, plays. First, we did that, distribution thing, facts variable, and we used, condition with variable. We have used loop with variable. Now we have used register, and understand. So this register variable is very important. Okay, most of the codes which we download from GitHub contain register variable understanding. So must understand it. What is register variable, when it is used, what is the use? Okay, and also you must understand what is the scope of register variable. Look here, I've declared a register variable here. So scope of this register variable is this entire play, but you cannot use it next play. So it's like a, okay, as usual. I mean, it's like, a play scope variable, like a play scope variable. Understand? Look here, I've declared a register variable here, but same variable I have referred here for printing, right, in another task. Understanding? So this is best example for register variable. Okay, condition. Okay, so must keep return code in mind very well because it's really important. No need to by heart or study or return code. That's really not required. Understanding? But try try to understand zero. Return code 0 means success. It can be anything like, okay, task successfully executed, or task value is positive. Executed task value is positive. Positive means service starting is positive. Okay, service started. I mean, service running, not started. Service active. Service running is positive. Service not running is negative. So negative, return code negative other than 0. Other than 0 means there are 1, 2, 3, so many. Okay, no need to learn that. Try to understand this common concept. That's enough. If no question, I'll move to the handlers. Next is handlers. Handlers actually part of this. Handler is part of this chapter. It's not a separate chapter. Handlers. Handlers are type of task. Type of task. Look here, it's very easy to understand. This is a play. In a play, you will write so many, you will specify so many tasks under task key, right? Like, okay, T1, example, okay, T1, T2, T3, T4. There are so many tasks mentioned below task key. These are called main task. These tasks are called main tasks. These are called main tasks. Understanding? But in play, sometimes you can see there are some more tasks mentioned under another key that is called handlers. Handlers key. There are some more tasks mentioned below the, okay, there are some more tasks mentioned below the, what to say, like handler task, mentioned below the handler task. That is T1. Example, okay, I'll just say instead of T1, I'll just say H1, H2, okay, H3, like this. There are some, okay, handler tasks. So these are called main tasks. We know this task, right? We know this task. So when you run, what will happen? These main tasks will be always executed. When you're running a play, main task will be always executed. But handler task will not be executed until you notify this task. Notify means calling variable. So we say referring variable. Okay, so calling variable, referring variable, calling variable. So same way, referring or notifying or calling the handler task. So please try to understand. Imagine this is a play. When you're running this play, all main tasks will be executed. Okay, by default, all main tasks will be executed. But there are three handler tasks also included here. But these tasks will not be executed until you notify, unless you notify it from the any of the main tasks. Notify means you have to refer or you have to call. You must call this. Okay, like example, you're calling this, you're calling this task from H1 task from T1. Understanding? Okay, so like this, you have to refer. Then you may have, Ashraf, what is the use of this? You tell. What's the use of this task? Okay, one example I'll just say. Sometimes when a task does make, some changes. One moment. One example I'll just say, like when a task does make a changes to the system, a further task may need to be run. Understanding? Like after making there is a task, main task T1, okay, made some changes on a machine. If that is successful, then I want to execute. If that is successful, then I want to run another task. In such cases only we use handlers. Example, what if NFS installed and started successfully, then start the auto FS. Else I don't want to start. Then you can tell Ashraf, if that is, you can use condition for that, right? But this is easier than condition. Okay, what I mean, handler task is very easy than condition, writing condition. Okay, so what I'm saying is, okay, you try to understand what is the, okay, you might have understood what are handlers. Handlers are type of task available in a play, okay, which mentioned under below handlers key. Those tasks will not be executed until unless you refer it from, notify it from, okay, call from okay, particular main task. Then you may ask, okay, what is the use of it? That's what I said. Okay, when a task does make a changes on a machine, okay, a further task may need to be run. Then we use this. Understand? So I'll show you. I've given an example, best example. Okay, example is, example like if NFS installed and running. If NFS is installed, okay, and running. If NFS is running, what we want? We want to start AutoFS because, okay, what is the use of starting AutoFS without NFS? No use, right? So in these cases we use. I'll show you 2-3 examples. You will understand well from example also. You just to keep this idea in mind and let's, okay, check with one example. I'll show you one small example first. Okay, I'll just go for server B. I'll remove NFS from server B. Okay, I'll just say yum remove NFS utils. It's remove. Okay, removing. I'll give yes. NFS is removed. Now what I'll do is I'm just going to write a simple example for handler. Vim handler first example. Installing starting NFS. latest or present, and starting NFS. Service module is used. Name of the service NFS server. State started enabled. True. I'm just going to write handler task. Handlers. Only one handler task for installing AutoFS. Okay, this is specially used for like restarting, understanding. Like example, a mail server installed and configured well. Then mail application should be mail application. Application means mail client application must be restarted. Like the situation we use this. Okay. Anyway, I'll show you multiple examples. Please wait. I just want to install AutoFS. Okay, I just want to install AutoFS. I'll just say what install, right? So em module is used. Oh, sorry. Em module is used, and name is AutoFS, and state is latest. So you look here, there are two tasks in main task key, right? Two tasks in main task key, and there is one handler task. But handler task is actually not, we didn't notify, we didn't refer handler task from any of the main task. So what I want is, if NFS installed and started successfully, then then I want to execute handler task. So notify, and what's the task of handler? I mean, what's the name of the handler task? Installing AutoFS, right? Same name you have to give. Installing AutoFS is the name of the handler task. So I'll just use notify installing. Look at the look at this indentation. Indentation is very important. Okay, indentation is very important. If you indent like this, what Ansible engine will think? Notify is an argument of the service module. No, okay, you have to notify. You have to indent like this. Okay, next we will just try this. Okay, look, NFS is removed, right? NFS is not there. It's removed. Now look, just Ansible hyphen playbook and installing NFS. We will test it. Okay, wait. See, handler is running because these two are true, so handler is running. Let me make some changes here. I'll remove NFS again. I'm going to remove NFS again. Okay, and I'll make some changes here. Changes in my script. Okay, so say for example, okay, if this first task is failed, then what will happen? Okay, Ansible has a normal behavior. It will skip, it will abort complete play. Then what? Your handler will not run. If second task failed, what if second task is failed? Okay, otherwise we will discuss this tomorrow because I need 10 to 15 minutes for discussing this. Okay, I just want to go to office today. Today is Monday, so we should reach a bit early. Okay, so we will discuss tomorrow. Now you at least understood how handler task is running, notifying at least, right? So there are so many things to be discussed about this. Okay, what if any of the main tasks fail? What if the main task from which handler is notified failed? There are so many questions. Okay, I'll practically solve it. I'll practically show you answer for all such questions tomorrow. So tomorrow, maybe like within 45 minutes, we'll finish 5th chapter. Once finished, we will start sixth chapter immediately. Okay, so sixth chapter will finish on Wednesday. Sixth is very interesting chapter. Okay, and seventh chapter Thursday. Eighth chapter Friday. So we need within coming Tuesday we will finish the course. Okay. So we'll meet again tomorrow. Bye. I'll share some PDF today. Please go through it. Okay. Thanks to all.
Okay, sir. Bye.